Wrestling fans, thanks for clicking the dreaded D-Rose report. Yes. I didn't die, didn't croak, nothing happened to me. I'm back. The wife's been off on vacation, and we've been tearing wallpaper off, and luckily she's gone back to work now, and I can quiet down for a while, do my job here. All right, it's probably all over the internet. I'm sure you're already seen it. Here's some odds and ends about the TNA. TNA officials have confirmed that Spike TV will not be renewing their contract for Impact Wrestling. And word is that the deal expires either the last week of September or the first week of October, and TNA has till then to secure a new deal with another network, which they got the right to do that, anytime they want. But they already got a lot of shows in the can, so we'll see them for the next month or so. Both sides are claiming that they were the ones not to renew, but multiple sources have confirmed the Spike's TV decision, and TNA says that they still in negotiations with Spike, though. Could be a last-minute ploy. You could even go right up to the ending date. Now, with Spike, I don't know who they would, what show they would replace TNA with that would get the 1.0 rating. I don't think they got any shows on that station that does that. Now, most likely, TNA wanted them to take on some of the costs so they can make some more money, because they spend quite a bit of money on the productions. And Spike TV probably didn't want to do it. And a lot of times it's got to do with the commercials. When a commercial is on Spike, it either that money goes to Spike or it goes to TNA, and then it's the negotiations like that. But anyway, for those wondering, the TNA's international TV deal, though, can keep them going. Those deals, though, are not lucrative enough, so you still can't tour the United States without TV. There's a lot of people in TNA that have a very small chance of picking up, work in Japan, Ring of Honor and WWE. So, I don't know. They could still keep going. We just may not be able to see them, unless you got, big time cables that picks up some Japan shows and stuff. All right, F4W Online. Now, this is kind of interesting that Spike TV's decision was not renewed. Didn't renew TNA's Impact Wrestling contract. Came just a few days after Spike TV found out that Vince Russo was still working with TNA. Spike was not happy when they found out about Russo and was still working with TNA, while their speculations is that it could have been the straw that broke the camel's back, and there's still no new deal in place 2 weeks ago. That was before they found out about Russo still having ties to TNA. It said that Russo's involvement with TNA played a big part in the factor of the Spike, not renewing. But they likely would not have gotten renewed anyway, it says. But the news of Russo with TNA recently confirmed. A lot of people said in TNA they worried about that could happen. Now, see, with Russo, he's been there. I don't know if he's been there since day one, but he's been there a long time, and nothing's changed. You got to get him out and get somebody else in. I'm not saying taking Paul Heyman, but you get a Paul Heyman type guy in there that will redo, that impresses Spike. Showing that you're changing, you're wanting to redo stuff, and you're trying. But when you just keep the same stale in there, it stays stale. Shows you don't care. By the way, WWE Raw tonight takes place from the Toyota Center, Houston, Texas. No matches have been announced for tonight's show, but we know there's going to be a segment with Brie Bella and Stephanie. Well, let's see who slaps it. Maybe they'll both slap each other at the same time. Wouldn't that be nice? All right, the focus points for tonight's show: will the Authority heed their lawyers' warnings and keep quiet about Stephanie's arrest? Does Bray Wyatt want to start another war with Chris Jericho? Will Triple H accept Cesaro into the Authority? Will Big E and Kofi keep their momentum going? And how will John Cena react to Brock Lesnar's return? I don't think Lesnar's going to be there, by the way. Batista recently spoke with UK Daily Mail to promote Guardians of the Galaxy. It looks like it might be fairly good. I think Batista's already probably signed up for part 2. But anyway, Batista confirmed that he's going to be returning to WWE and expressed interest in facing Sting. Here's what he said. He says, I don't know where Sting would fit into the spectrum of thing, but he said, I never met the guy. I would hope so, but I've been a fan throughout the years. We speculated a lot, and we thought that he was going to, come to WWE for years, or well, even a year ago. So speaking as a fan, I'd like to see it. And also talked about retiring against Triple H. He said, I'd kind of like to have my wish list of guys that I would like to work with, but also realize my career is not going, to be that long if I go back to just being, physically. And realistically, he says, I'm 45 years old. How much longer can I continue? You can take a beating in professional wrestling, but, pardon me, he says, I love it. And it's not, will I go back? It's when I go back. He said, hopefully it won't be too long. Triple H is now the guy I really want to work with. I want to go back. That's hopefully, that'll be my retirement program. Yep. I'll have my WrestleMania retirement match with Triple H. He's assuming. Better do a big build-up. Word to come out this week that Stephanie taking on Brie Bella may actually take place at Night of Champions in September instead of SummerSlam in August. We'll know more after tonight's Raw when it goes off. And regarding Paige taking on AJ Lee and Ambrose taking on Rollins at SummerSlam, word is that both those matches will have some kind of a gimmick to it. It's kind of, stipulations. So we'll know more tonight. There's also talk about doing a fatal four-way match for the tag team titles against the Usos and Rowan and Harper and 2 other teams. Former WWE, ECW, WCW star Lance Storm. He was backstage at last night's event in Calgary, and he was with Emma, by the way. He trained her. Bret Hart also worked last night's Raw live event in Calgary, Alberta. He came out after the main event and saved Chris Jericho from the Wyatt family. And Booker T, he drew about 832 fans to his Reality of Wrestling internet pay-per-view in Humboldt, Texas. Don't know where Humboldt, Texas is. Anyways, on Saturday night, some of the people down there was Diamond Dallas Page, Ginger Mahal, Devon, and of course Booker. All right, what else have I got up here? Arthur Fatu, son of the late Eddie Umaga Fatu, is currently the offensive lineman for West Texas A&M in Canyon, Texas. The 21-year-old is 6'2", 335 pounds, is said to be athletically similar to his father. Arthur is hoping for a career in pro football, but pro wrestling is his backup plan. Arthur is the cousin now to WWE superstar Roman Reigns. I hope he looks more like Roman than Umaga. Anyway, it's said that WWE is learning from some of their mistakes with the WWE Network, and they're going to be doing beta testing with viewers in the international rollout that they did not do when they first rolled it out here. So they're getting all the bugs worked out of it. And officials reported recently told Cesaro to quit the Cesaro swing because it was now just wasn't getting over with the fans. So he's not the king of swing no more. He's maybe the king. Ric Flair, he worked over the weekend at WWE live event in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where he was special guest referee for Reigns taking on Orton main event. Flair opened up the show with a promo and got the crowd going. And during the main event, it was said that Flair didn't get involved much into the match and kind of hung out on the ropes. Flair, he's booked for another special guest referee role this summer. All right, the law offices of Robbins and Aurora, something like that, LLP, announced that it has filed a class action lawsuit against World Wrestling Entertainment. WWE is accused of making false and misleading statements concerning the company's ability to double its value in its television licensing agreement. That's where you make too big of promises. And when Vince McMahon says, I guarantee it, well, he didn't do it. You don't do that to people that's you're using their money. Unless you already know what's happening. WWE shop website's got a muscle shirt version of Scorpion King t-shirt, and they released a few weeks ago. There's also the new red version. All right, noted before that Bill DeMott going on the Australian World Tour with WWE, and this is because several of the wrestlers from New Zealand and Australia will be getting tryouts there. So apparently some of the NXT players are going to be going as well. All right, Jim Ross, he says, he says, all my legal commitments to WWE ended Wednesday night at midnight, concluding my 21-year tenure with the company. Coming to WWE in '93 was the best business decision I ever made, although, you know, I really love living in Atlanta. Great city, great food, many friends, fun, sports town. He said, I arrived in WWE in '93, officially ending my 21 years with Vince, which not too many individuals can say that they did, especially on a management level, where I was at the majority of the time. Working through drastic financial issues, federal trial, bankruptcy, discussed more than once, but we all pulled together, put our personal lives on hold, got lucky on hiring some of the amazing talents that launched into the Attitude Era that created the greatest business WWE ever achieved. He said, my departure from WWE over the SummerSlam Symposium, that was where Ric Flair was drunk or inebriated and there was a fiasco going on. Anyway, over that in 1992, or in 2014, well, it was earlier this year, he said that was a bunch of misinformation and rumors allegedly spread by some, perhaps with dubious characters, he says, agendas, and with overall lack of information. He said, my side of the story will be told thoroughly someday to the chagrin of some, and yes, there are two sides to every story, but then, but that, you know, was then, and today is today, and it's a better day with great things on the horizon. Good luck, JR. Gonna miss you badly. And all the fans are gonna miss you. Just from, I loved it in the Attitude Era when he went off, he went crazy. It looked like his vein was gonna pop out when Vince would come down and he'd call him the Satan's demon, and, you know, and Shane was his offspring from his loins. And so, that was always funny, him doing that stuff. Miss it. Not too much, though, because I watch the network, watch the old stuff. Thanks for clicking, you guys. I gotta go.